Over here. Hello there, that's Matt. Matt's the first to pick up. And I'm not sure if he has sound.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Alright, yeah, I'm here.
Alright, you're outside of your house? That's pretty cool.
That's actually quite warm.
Yeah, it's warm here as well, man. And that'll be DA Nemesis. Hello, man.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Wait,
Very
where's
good.
that here? There we go.
Ah,
Can I hide this thingy?
I see the stream has a bit of delay. I'm just going to turn it off then.
Yeah, stream has a little bit of a delay. It's not that much, but it's there. There we go. That's way better. So all we're missing now is James, who's getting his laptop, I believe. So for the people who don't know, on the left we have DA Nemesis here, who you should know, to be honest. He's somewhat of a known player. He's led tribes before, quite a few. He's been in a lot of worlds as well. But you introduce yourself if you like, please.
Oh, yeah, sure. I've been playing since I've been playing since the start of World 1. Yeah, I'm probably best known now for public forums. I'd just call them shenanigans, to be honest. Under my account, the Nemesis 123, which, well, I'm not currently posting on there, but I used to quite a lot. Yeah, other than that, I've led a few world winning tribes, won a lot of worlds, won World 16, World 87 as a leader, for example. So I do have a bit of experience. I mean, in real life, I'm 23. I currently work at a school. Not really much to say. It's not that important or relevant, but I thought I'd just mention it anyways. So, yeah, I'm not sure what else to add to that.
No, that's fine. It's fine. Gives an idea to the people who are watching. And yeah. Matt Kurt, why don't you introduce yourself? I mean, a lot of people should know who you are. You're somewhat of a legend.
Kind of disappeared for a couple of years.
That's true. The older people will remember you though.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, I mean, I've been around since World 7. Back in the day, people didn't.
Yeah.
Back in the day, people knew that name,
Yeah, maybe.
and they knew to respect that name.
I don't know. I guess we do startup.
Yeah.
Wait. Or like,
What?
no, we used to do startup.
Yeah, you're a bit low on the
You're
volume.
Bit quiet, yeah.
Is this better?
That's
I know
that's
the
better.
microphone in the computer sucks, so like I put headphones on. I don't know. I guess I've get written guides and I yell at people in the forums a lot, so
I mean,
probably hate me.
that's what you did to get famous back in the days, right? You just have to have a big mouth, post a lot, and do a bunch of stuff that isn't really that relevant, but people will notice it, and then you get famous, right?
I think kind of the culture was a little bit different back then. I mean, if you think back to like World War, where like the first war, which they called World Wars back in the day, in World 1, they used to call people like the infidels, and like they were like everyone was like in character. No
Yeah,
one was
role
touching
playing.
serious.
Those were the days, though.
People didn't really take things seriously. There's like a lot of forum personalities back then.
There was a lot of good banter, and the PMP was a lot better as well. So
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of like a reflection of the way like political correctness has changed. Like people don't really take well to the whole banter anymore.
That's
It's
kind of true. It's kind of true.
People prefer, I guess, than like I guess maybe like a objective statements about things. So then like Frankie yelling.
I don't know. I think there's not as much to talk about in Worlds nowadays, just because of the way that they've become smaller as well. So it's just rather unfortunate the fact that the game's declining at the same time as that, which means I mean, you can just look at the most recent forums and you go, well, none of this is actually, and the majority of it's nothing to actually do with the tribes. It could be on Reddit or something.
Yeah,
It's it, but
the top 10 used to be relevant. Now, outside the top 2 tribes.
nah, if you're in like rank 9 or 10, that used to mean something.
That's true.
I mean, it didn't mean you're the greatest tribe, but it just meant
You had it. You had
you had it.
You got some respect for it. Meanwhile, nowadays, if you get ranked, well, anything in the top 10, it's like, yeah, you're just throwing money at the game, which is probably somewhat true. I mean, you do need premium points to get on top of the rankings in the early game.
I don't buy that argument.
No, you don't think you need premium points to get on top in the start of the world?
I don't think you do,
No.
but I think a lot of people choose to do so. It's the same kind of argument with, I suppose, what you call like dirty play, which has become the norm nowadays. You don't actually need to play dirty in order to get rank 1 and out expand your allies, but it's easier and more successful to do so.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hey James.
Yeah, I can
Welcome
hear
to
you
the call.
fine.
All right, James.
Is my mic okay?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. It's louder than Matt's at least. Matt is still pretty quiet,
Okay.
according to
Sorry.
the chat.
Wait,
Uh,
let me see if I can switch to my phone.
Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, while you do that, James, can you introduce yourself shortly?
Okay, Sinful Angel, currently playing World 94. Mainly played World 80 in the past. Other than that, not much past. I'm semi-new.
Yeah, you're still one of the more new players. I mean, compared to this crowd, you're very new, to be honest. As well as from the people who are in the chat right now that I can see, a lot of these guys are pretty ancient in Tribal Wars. So, what's it like, to be honest, being so new to Tribal Wars?
After about a year, you pretty much just become one of the regular crowd, to be honest.
That's true, I guess.
And I did win. World 75 was a really good introduction because I had a great tribe there. I don't know. Well, at night, you probably know of them.
I've
yeah.
heard of At Night.
Is this the World 75 iteration rather than the World 89 one, which
Well,
I was in briefly?
Yeah, 89
We're actually
wasn't really that great, so I heard. But World 75 really was one of the more known tribes, one of the better
Yeah.
tribes to win a world, as far as I've heard. Anyways, it's maybe not up there with World 10's DNI, I believe, no, World 12 DNI. Or, goddamn, what is that noise?
Is this better?
Yeah, you're loud enough.
But now are you picking up all the background birds and shit?
We did pick up some background noise, yeah, but it's fine now. There's no camera though. That's a bit disappointing. Can't see.
Oh,
your
I can
face.
see myself.
We can't see. your
Jasper, you
handsome
gonna turn your camera on?
Wait, my cam isn't on. Oh shit. Well, it is on the in the Skype chat and the Twitch. But
Well, I want to be able to see you.
can you see me now?
I can see Matt. Nope.
No, I
I
can't.
can almost see.
I can't turn my camera on Skype because
There we go.
There we go. Got Matt.
it's already turned on for Twitch, so I can't make my camera do two things at once apparently.
Mm.
Sadly enough. But I'm on the Twitch thingy. You can open Twitch and you can see my face doing reactions to what you're saying 8 seconds later.
Yes.
That would be glorious, wouldn't it?
That might get a little much.
Yeah. So yeah, James. World 75 at night. It's one of the better tribes that has been around in Tribe Wars, but what made it special in your opinion?
World 75 was my first world.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that I actually played properly.
that already made it
It was a
pretty
fun
special,
world.
I suppose.
Yeah. And it was an interesting one because I was in a tribe of like 12 people for a good half a year there. And that was very different to most tribes these days.
I suppose somewhat true. I mean, you still have a lot of premates starting with very low number and then just recruiting people that
Yeah.
they fancy and grow to be much larger later on. I mean,
Well,
I can't come up with
YOLO
a
leader.
recent example, but I'm sure there are.
I think you pretty much have to join the pre-made nowadays if you want to win a world. I wouldn't say you have to, but
It would be
at
easier,
least
yeah.
at least in the last, I think, 5 to 10 worlds, I can't think of one off the top of my head. I mean, that hasn't been a pre-made. Obviously, World 94's too young. World 93 screws a pre-made. World 92, I don't actually know enough about World 92. I know World 91. You probably know more about that than me. But World 90
they're both
definitely a
pre-mades.
battle between two pre-mades. World 89 the same. World 87 was a tribe I made, which was a pre-made. So it goes back. I do wonder whether you actually can go with that. You know, whether it's actually worth. Of course, you can join a pre-made and start on your own, but whether it's to create a grassroots tribe, whether that's actually been working as of recent, when you can just get a team of like players that you know are somewhat decent, you have your crew or whatever, and you go in and you steamroll the world.
Yeah, it's definitely the go-to build for tribes nowadays. I can't really remember a grassroots tribe winning in any recent years. I mean, if you were to compare it to World 91 at the moment, Corp was not really a pre-made, but it was still a bunch of guys who said, hey, let's start a tribe together. Although it's not really like Corp has won yet, but it wasn't a normal pre-made, so to say. But
That's
yeah.
well, I mean, that's like actually the total opposite of how it used to be. I haven't played in a couple of years, I guess since '79.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I remember when the first pre-made one, maybe out of all the worlds that had closed, 1 or 2 pre-mades had won. And then you had, what was it, World 53 was a pre-made, and I think before that it was...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Drama. That was led by Nima? No, Tom,
Was it
TDO Tom.
Was it Rednecks?
Yeah, Rednecks, I believe,
Yeah,
was there.
Rednecks.
TDO Tom, the dark one, I mean.
I thought he was in Static, but I may have been mixing stuff up.
The dark one was definitely in World 53 Drama. I remember that because I co-played with him shortly on 91.
Okay.
I think Worlds just lasted too long back then.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can't really say, hey, let's start a pre-made and let's win a world if the world is gonna last for like 5 years. You can't make that commitment. Nobody could. Nobody could make a commitment to say, hey, let's continue playing Tribalwars non-stop for 5 years. That was insane. Well, nowadays worlds
and they've
last
kind
for like
of
a year.
They've kind of, I think the players have kind of shot ourselves in the foot by the types of things that people like. I think are detrimental to maybe how the game is played, because it really wasn't designed to be a 24/7 thing. But they've changed the build equations. They've changed the way everything works to make it faster, faster, faster. I remember, I think around 45, they changed all of the early build equations so that things would build quicker, so you weren't just sitting around waiting. Which I guess is good if you want to sit around all day as the world starts and just keep clicking shit. But
Fuck no.
it kind of like changed the entire basis of the game. And then like I sometimes I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect since the mods don't play as much, so they don't understand things. Like they'll put in faking limit, which the game was already bent to favor defense. So if you need a faking limit, you need to put the upper cap on how farm levels work, which is it kind of works like churches. So after you fill your village with maybe like 40,000 pop room, everything above 40,000 pop room fights at maybe 1/10 strength. So it's basically useless to just stack, which is good when you put that fake limit on, because now the offense is at a disadvantage, but you just can't overstack shit. You need to actually use strategy. And then there's a bunch of things. Like back in the day, a 30-second train was very normal. Sniping wasn't really a thing. That's not how the game was designed.
No,
we weren't designed to sit around.
People did it, but it wasn't as common. Actually, you were thought of to be good if you were sniping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And these
because
were 30-second trains that you were sniping, and people were like, "Oh man, that guy's good."
He must be cheating, right?
I
Put in a
got
sport ticket.
I got into a tribe merely off sniping a sub-second train.
Yeah.
I'm talking like a rank 1 tribe here as a nobody.
That's pretty normal for back in the day. Because, well, you have to remember as well, premium accounts as they were back then, they were almost useless. I mean, it was nice to have a premium account because you could queue, like, instead of only 2 buildings, you could queue 5. And a few other little perks, but it didn't really do that much for you. It was better. It was better. Yeah.
Screens?
What?
There was no mass recruit screens, remember?
There was no
You had to
farming
individually go in
assistance.
every. So that's the other thing. You didn't farm every day because you had to spend like 4 hours recruiting troops.
It's like mass faking your farming scripts and stuff. Like no one mass fakes anymore on Tribalwars really. Not to the extent that they.
Did you play World 80, DA?
I played it for a short. Yeah, but I think
World
there
80
are
is an exception to most of those.
I sat on like 20,000 incomings for like 2 months straight, so I don't know.
I mean, I've had incomings that you just never get nowadays. Back in older worlds, because it was madness, and you know, I don't think that if people quite put in the same amount of effort, probably it's because of the fact that you know, money rules supreme now.
But how much do you think those mass fakes back in the days? How much do you think was actual people sitting at their computer doing it for hours, and how much? Was
I
actually
used to do it. I used to do it.
Well,
I don't know about everyone. I don't know about some of them were definitely bots. So
yeah.
Did you guys remember?
Yeah.
Halfway through World 52's startup.
Vaguely, because
When,
I was duking at World 51, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Morphe had I guess come out with some sort of new bot protection, and all of the earlier worlds, about 50% of the top 20 just got banned.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah,
that ban wave. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, get fucking
That was one that
wrecked. Stupid.
Probably
buggers.
the most famous startup player of all time at the time, which was PP. Purple Predator.
yeah.
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 And then I was like, oh wow, I was keeping up with bots, and then at the same time I was like, oh wow, I was keeping up with bots.
Yeah.
That was a moment.
That's also true. But it's a good thing, to be honest, to fucking weed out all those bots, because that is so annoying. But there's still out there, you know? I mean, even as recent as World 91, we've encountered people using all kinds of bots and macros and shit to get away with things that other people actually slave on for hours at a time. So the bot protection really has improved over the years, but it's still not gone, and I'm not sure if people can actually stop it either, to be honest. There will always be bots, right?
Become more undetectable as well. So, I mean, and it's not just bots; it's various illegal scripts. So they, you know, obviously, if you can get away with it, some people will do it because it's a lot easier than. Well, right now I'm farming, which takes up a stupid amount of time, really. Even though it's way easier than it used to be. Where you had to basically, it was mass sending a script.
I'd say farming, like, it's not an issue anymore. You just put something on the spacebar and leave like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and this is legal. I mean, this has been approved, so everyone.
Yeah, I know. I wrote a ticket about it because I was like, I feel like this shouldn't be legal, and they're like, nope, it is. I was like, all right.
All right then. God damn it. I mean, I even use it nowadays to farm, and I haven't.
But you used to be able to do that back in the day too.
So
You guys
close?
probably weren't in the right crowds, but the way you could set up Opera was you could bookmark, 10,000, 20,000 bookmark. Not me. Fuck, I never played that long. But like Lotta and like Jagger Blue, those people who own like, I think they farmed like 1 billion or 2 billion resources a day.
Fuck that
which
shit,
is like
man.
no
Who
one
has time for
touches that.
Nah,
Who even has the motivation to do
my
that?
computer couldn't ever handle that. To be honest.
That's disappointing. But also, do any of you guys remember the times when having Grease Monkey was way better than having a premium account. Grease
No,
Monkey
because
itself.
I never used Grease Monkey because it was illegal.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't use it either. I mean, I can
definitely
actually
never
say that
used
I
it.
never used it because I couldn't be bothered with it. But I do remember the time where people were freaking over this Grease Monkey thing that could send trains for you within a second. Like, whoa, this is amazing. Or maybe
Yeah.
it couldn't do that, but
Because it was
it could
illegal
do.
German version.
Yeah, it could do a lot of things though, farming runs and all that stuff.
You kind of just assumed that if someone was sending a train under 1 second before, obviously the opera method became popularized and they had to put in limits on what they were going to send.
Yeah.
Like I think at the start it was 50 milliseconds
Yeah, I
between
believe so.
each attack.
Well, at
but before,
first, they had like a law that you had to check yourself at 250 milliseconds, and then you had to go back and manually check it. There was no hard stop. It didn't push your attack back.
Yeah.
So your trains could get there, and it could be 249 milliseconds, and they could cancel it if they went to a mod.
yeah.
Jesus. So yeah, we as players forced Tribalwars to come up with ways to stop ourselves from improving too much, keep it within the limits of human capability, because otherwise we were just gonna bot and continue botting and find ways to exploit all kinds of shit so that we could have train landing within 1 millisecond and stuff, and all kinds of attacks
You never had
sent at the
to
same time.
exploit, though.
No,
Because
it's
I remember we could snipe, I think in UK3, Raoul Duke and I got into a competition, and we both ended up sniping a 1 millisecond window. You just have to know how to well, everyone knows about cancel snipes now. That's why I don't get, like, everyone goes on and on about how sniping's a skill and shit. It's
Cancel sniping's not.
really
It's like
particularly
fucking. It's easy.
it's tedious.
Exactly. The only thing I have with all the sniping and timing shit is you actually have to be on your computer to do it, or on your phone nowadays if you have a good connection and shit, or you know how to use it. But I mean, I'm known for not being a very good player. I know that, and I admit that. But the only reason is because I can't fucking commit myself to sit at my computer and send attacks at appropriate times. I'm just like, send all my shit now and let me do something else while it's all on the way. But actually,
that's
extending the
startup.
time, startup, yeah.
You just end up
Yeah, plus, it's the
forgetting.
only time it's easy to lose. Like, I feel like if I lose in late game, it's because I just couldn't be fucked to get on and, like, defend 24/7 for, like, 2 months. But in early game, you get 4 people attacking you, even if you have the best account, it's going to be difficult.
It's always gonna be a nuisance to be here and do stuff for Tribalwars. I mean, we've all been playing it for a long, long time now. Have we
Yes,
actually
sir.
managed to quit? No, we're still kinda here. No, not even
I
you,
haven't
Matt. You're
played,
on the
like-
classic server, dude. You haven't quit
No,
yet.
that's
You're
not
there.
me. That's not me. That's all Wardy and Tom. I haven't logged in 2 days.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I saw you grow. I know you're there.
No, I'm not the one who's playing. I kind of feel bad because, like, it's like my like actual like unalias name, and I'm not even like logged in at all, ever.
Well, kind of like me at World 91, I guess. I just can't commit myself to do many things, but I can't really say that I'm quitting either. It's an addiction,
Yes,
man.
well.
Tribalwars. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in that exact same position on World 91. Have you seen? I actually noble things. Like the
You've
last couple
noble
days.
things? Wow, impressive, man.
Yeah,
Holy shit, we might
And
actually win this now.
I'm fighting a tribe of inactive players. It's quite fun.
Yeah,
Makes me feel like I'm a great player.
Wait, which world is this?
91.
91.
I led a tribe for that world for some time, but I couldn't really commit more to it. And at a certain point, yeah, just have to quit, you know. I also kind of put us into a position where we had to fight off the rest of the world in a 1 versus 2 situation. That wasn't really my fault. Okay, maybe it was, but
I'm gonna blame it on you. You got cocky.
yeah, I got cocky and I was a duke, you know. And I just kind of
You wanted to be a badass.
and I was, man, during that declaration with the video, and you're going down from puppies. No,
Yeah.
puppy thingy something. Forget the name. It was good shit. But yeah,
Uh,
it was
I
never
think
supposed to be
I
a
think
serious
Ronnie
threat.
Ronnie was supposed to back you up, right?
Yeah, it was.
And
But
then he decided, nah, I'll just attack you instead.
yeah, he didn't
So
want me getting in the way of his plans for his win. Basically,
Yeah.
we were allies, but what he was about to do would have wrecked our chances of winning. So I stopped him, but that wrecked his chances of winning. So we couldn't be friends anymore. Greed got in the way of it, basically. But yeah,
Haters gonna hate, is what you're saying.
haters gonna hate, man. I mean, you were apathy. I don't give a shit. Okay, man, you're not friends anymore? Fucking go. Come at me. But it didn't really work because I had to do shit to make that work. But yeah, are any of you guys playing the classic server?
No,
I'm
can't
not.
be fucked.
I looked at it and I thought that's a great idea, and then I saw the speed and it was 6 speed, and I was like, nah, that
Well,
sounds
that's actually-
too much like hard work.
It's not 6 speed. That's another great example of the devs not understanding their own game.
Isn't it 12 and 0.25?
It's 12 speed.
Oh, okay.
They
it's even
used the original
worse.
equations, so people bitched at the beginning because, like, basically, like I said, back in the day, the game was a lot slower in the first few days, but they sped it up, and people didn't realize that. So then they switched it from speed 6 to speed 12 to make the mines right, but there was nothing wrong with the mines. They were just using a different equation, which they said they were using. They just didn't know what the equation was, I guess, or they didn't understand it, and then they never went back. And then they lowered the troop speed to 0.25 because once they raised it to speed 12, then of course the troops were moving too fast, and it just kind of like messed everything up.
Balancing, you know, it's not easy.
No, it is easy if you know how the game works.
Well, you have to actually play the game then, and I don't think a lot of people who are working on the game nowadays play the game. You know, that might be one of the issues.
Elise is like the only one in the upper echelon that was good at Tribal Wars.
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean,
I've always
Jerky had a
sworn-
huge account.
I've always sworn that I was
like World 1.
World 2.
World 2, was it?
Yeah, he won that world. Give him some credit.
They were 10-minute trains.
But yeah, I know. It might be one of the things that they have to work on more.
It is kind of frustrating when most of the most of the top tribe player base are actually better at the game than the developers that develop for it. It's like at least you go into other games and you go, okay, maybe I'm trying to think of an example like Dota or League or something like that, although it's a different genre. Those who develop it are also of that diamond level.
They're
a lot of them,
normally
and they
very
have
good
a
players.
prerequisite. They come from the top player base, whereas it's not quite the same anymore for Tribal Wars.
No.
I know definitely hardly any of the team that work on Tribal Wars play it.
Yeah. It's true. But also, one of the things, since you made the comparison to Dota and League of Legends, one of the things that they do, the people behind the scenes who balance the games, they ask the top players for input. You know, they ask, hey, what do you think is OP at the moment? What do you think needs to be nerfed? Or what do you think if we made this change? And they actually listen to that, and they try and balance the game that way. But they don't do that in Tribalwars. They just, they push events that require you to put in more money. It is a dangerous thing. It requires, first of all, game knowledge of the people who are developing it, definitely. But first of all, good communication and some trustable sources as well. Because if you have some people who are actually asking for things that might benefit them alone, or players of their caliber, that's also not something you want. You have to keep this game interesting for people who are, quite new still. Because we can't just run with the same player base for years and years. You need more people. You need new people.
It's pretty clicky, and to be a top account, you need to be very active or have extreme knowledge of the game. And I think more and more over the years, it's just 9 times out of 10, it's just the active people. I made a thread, the last world I seriously started, and I compared, because I'm a Hitler Nazi leader, of course. I have all the statistics of every account.
That is the best way.
And I took Tom's account and my account, and I took 2 other top accounts that were of equal size to us, and I broke down how much we had farmed versus how much an account next to us had farmed. And I think for Tom, he was number 2. They were within. The other guy was number 1. They were within 2,000 points of each other at maybe like 150,000 points. And the other guy had farmed maybe 2 or 3 times as much as Tom. Tom had more troops. Tom had more OPD. Tom had more ODA. Tom had more coins and villages.
How do you?
And it was just like
do that?
It's just like people like yeah. There's you can be hyperactive on a non-play to win world and just like be number 1. But at the same time, this is why back in the day, when all of us were really active, we usually dominated. Like we usually held rank 1 through like 10 minus 2 spots, because most people don't understand the game. So asking the top players in Tribal Wars, I'm not sure is going to have the same exact effect. A lot of people are just there through activity abuse. That's why I started making threads about it. Maybe back in like World 20, co-playing is detrimental for TW.
Yeah.
We should add the speed style sleep, so you force everyone to have their account locked down 8 hours a day, or like whatever it was. And
that's pretty bad for Australia.
One player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to do on .NET due to it being
the time zone.
That's why you would do the speed style, not the.
You mean make it flexible? Like say these are the 8 hours I sleep, so give me those 8 hours as downtime.
Oh yes, exactly. Yeah. Every day, every 24 hours, you have to take 8 hours off. But it's not like .uk where it's a night bonus. Your account's just like locked down, like on ban. You can't get in. People can't attack you.
Doesn't that sound a bit difficult?
It's
to
very
like coordinate around, because let's say I'm a leader of a tribe and I'm trying to plan an operation on you. If you know the time that op is going to land, then presumably you can just go, okay, I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
The fix for that's very simple. We used to have 1 million players on .NET alone. Now what are there, like 20,000?
Yeah.
Why are we making 100k worlds? That makes no sense. We need to shrink the size of the worlds. And it'll be a lot more like a speed round where it was balanced. They did it for years with that type of night.
You still have the same
issue
issue though.
Work.
Late game, this world, for example, World 91, you send an attack and you don't expect it to arrive in at least
like
72 hours. 72 hours, yeah, exactly. That's plenty enough time to go to your settings and change the sleeping pattern. And even then, if you wanna say, okay, well, you can't change the sleeping pattern that you put in unless like 1 week before it actually changes, like put a delay on it or something. Well, you still have an aspect of people spying on other tribes and finding out the update before any attack is actually launched. But then again, that is an aspect of the game, so it should not be a factor.
If the world's smaller, then does it matter? And you can alter settings.
Shorter.
You can alter settings during the game. So let's say we want to work around that, right? So now, let's say the average player in the top 3 tribes is at 500,000 points. At this point, we're going to increase the troop modifier and turn off farming, or any sort of combination of the two. You could speed up how fast the troops are moving, because in what way is it fun to have an op that waits, 2 days, 3 days to get done? You don't need to speed the world up.
It's not fun for me, anyways.
It's not that fun. But then you get the problem is there's no easy answer, because then if you do that, then you get the opposite problem is that, okay, well, now this noble train from 1 square away takes 8 minutes to arrive at my village. Which, I mean, to be fair, you should probably be preemptively stacking those sorts of villages anyway.
Exactly.
But there's a difference between 8 minutes and 35 minutes, or 30 minutes and 2 hours in terms of the amount of time you have to react to something, which means you have to be on more and more than you would normally, I suppose. If you are being under attack. I think you can take a break for a little bit if you're under attack.
Marcus in the
you'd
chat
probably be
has a good
okay.
idea, by the way. You could limit the up travel times by basically enabling the system of noble walk distance, which has been used for smaller servers like the, what is it called again? The high performance server. I mean, I remember playing one where nobles couldn't travel further than 24 hours. You could somewhat use that, I guess.
Yeah, I forgot about that setting.
I always thought it was set automatically, but the newer worlds, obviously, it doesn't get to that.
No,
Point.
actual worlds don't really use it that much, or if they use it, it's a setting that is like
it used
way
to be like
too way too high.
100 and something
Yeah,
hours.
But
It
high
was
performance
ridiculous.
limited it at 24, at least the one that I played, which was like
And,
2
and
years
the
ago.
thing is that people shouldn't be. I don't think personally people should be sending trains over 24 hours, anyways. So, I mean,
No, they're
if,
good.
if, if they are, if they,
Long range trains work.
Yeah,
I mean, if
Late
you know, they shouldn't. The thing is, they shouldn't work, but they obviously do. For
But when you
whatever.
have like 1,000 long range trains and noble nukes, that works. So
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
it's fair to keep that in the game. Though it just adds an aspect of grinding to the game, which is so painful.
That's world 80 now in
Yep,
a nutshell.
it's such a grind.
It's from what I've heard, anyways. I kind of know a few of the major players that have joined. I think it's Destiny. There, you've got like War Peace, Lovers, all of that lot. They just send a lot of shit and brute force,
Yeah, dude, that's how I played World 80, and it like works.
it works. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
it's
lie.
just it's being more active than your opponent. That's literally end game now. There's nothing more to it.
another thing that Marcus reminded me about in the chat is that the watchtowers was actually something that was implemented by suggestion of the players. So
Yeah.
I suppose
I think
InnoGames
it's
does
one of
listen a little.
those. I think it's one of those things though that maybe the player base. It's all well and good saying, okay, we should take suggestions from top players, but maybe they aren't always right. For example, I played
true.
on the first Secret World, which
played
was
the
also
second.
which is also something that was kind of, I say, pushed for within the general forums by the player base because they thought this will be a cool idea to do. Just like the Watchtower sounds like a cool idea, but really is another church, except it's even shitty and promotes more defensive play than a church. But obviously, when it comes to actually implementing that into the game, it didn't quite work out the same way that it was anticipated to when people were just discussing it on the public forum, say.
Yeah, but
I mean, you could just look at World 90 to see what Watchtowers does in the mid-late game, because it
really
moves-
slows things down.
It removes the fog of war,
Yeah.
which is the main thing that kind of the last, I suppose, real difference between an all-right defender and a decent defender was that the ability for defenders to actually react and identify attacks, trace patterns.
Yeah.
And
See,
stuff
I'm
like
gonna
that.
disagree there. I think it removes a lot of the grind aspects of the game where you like sit there for hours dodging fakes and you're not really doing anything smart play or tactical. You're just sitting at a computer playing over and over.
I can
So-
see that. I can see that point of view. My trouble with it generally is not that it removes the grind aspect. I think that's a good thing that the Watchtower tackles, but I think the problem is that once that grind aspect is removed, top players are very, very, very difficult to actually break without pressuring them mentally through the grinding that you have to do. I mean, I'm not sure.
What's wrong with that?
And I mean, that's an aspect of the game which is not particularly well designed, I will admit. But at the same time, it's a debate to whether, having people actually being able to be broken is just better than a perpetual stalemate on certain fronts.
It's
For
true.
example,
You have to also take into consideration what is the aim of Tribal Wars. What does InnoGames want out of Tribal Wars? Does it want people to spend years and years on one server, or does it want people to try, fail, and start a new world? I mean, is it focused on late game or early game? Obviously, it's
Yeah.
early game because that's where
Yeah.
they can make the most money. It is still a business, you know. Money
back.
is hey, welcome back, Matt. Money is everything for InnoGames, obviously. So what their focus is early game. So balancing out the late game is, well, maybe not a priority, but it has happened a little. But it's still difficult to do, because why would they want a server that's going on for like 6 years, like World
it
2 was?
doesn't. Yeah, but I think to a certain extent, actually, yeah, you are right that the money is not made during the mid and late game. The vast majority of it, I imagine, is made during the first few villages of startup. But at the same time, I still suspect that it is still somewhat profitable to keep these worlds continuing on. And
It doesn't
Open
cost them
for-
that much, I think, to run the
I don't-
servers. So it's not really like they're making a loss out of the players that are continuing playing for years and years. And it's also somewhat of a prestige thing, like, hey, look at these guys, they're playing for so many years, and this is what you could also become, new player. Look at these guys, they have immense accounts. It looks so awesome, you can do that too.
Yeah. No, I remember that. On my first World 75, I saw all the players on World 60 in spam, I think it was, and I was like, holy crap, these guys must be amazing. That looks awesome.
they were amazing.
They were horrible.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, James, I don't know if you know, but DA was the Duke for World 60 spam.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Okay.
dude, he's mentioned it.
He has? Whoa, when was that? He
When
normally
was
never
that?
says it. He's so
I
modest.
don't-
about it.
I'm always modest, like all good Tribal Wars players should be.
It's true, I'm also
Dude, I
very
think
modest.
every single player that plays this game like seriously always wants to brag just a little bit about their worlds.
You got to do it, man.
That's true. It's
No,
very true.
Nas never does. He's really good about that. I mean,
Nah.
I don't even know what.
I
he
think
is.
Oz takes
Who
the
is
humbleness
Nas?
to
I
the
don't
next
think
level.
I've ever heard about him. Is he the guy standing on top of everyone
Have you not
shouting?
heard of him?
A lot of people get into these contests about how much LC they have, but he's
He's-
always
he's
one
like-
to say, guys, let's come together. This is a team game. It's not about individualism.
He's like you, but better.
Yeah, probably. Nah, to be honest, none of us of the guys who are here are really. No, I mean James is a good player, I guess, but the three of us we know how to play, but we're not really ever been that motivated to get on top of the rankings and well be one of the good players.
Whenever I
They
lead
ranked one in,
tribes,
like 20 worlds.
What?
You're a
Well,
I
didn't
called
do
it
that.
wrong.
No.
Did
well,
you do it
a
alone, Matt?
couple times.
Did you do it alone?
Do I start alone? Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Jasper.
Yeah.
I'm really
Fair enough.
like pedantic.
Wait, was this on
I guess the
.NET?
one I won was what?
Was this on .NET?
I don't like switching things.
I'd just like to say, you guys know the game like 100 times better than me. I was just really active for a couple months. So I'd say they're better players, but it's just activity wins this game, that's all it is.
It's true. Activity is a very huge factor. It always has been.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I will never win a world. I can't imagine myself playing for more than 2 or 3 months with any sort of commitment.
Yeah, same nowadays.
But for startup, yeah, I'm usually ranked up there, Jasper. Solo.
I did not know that, man. Honestly, I thought you were more like a guy like me, you know? Like
I mean, sometimes
top
I'm
10
lucky.
rankings,
It depends on
sometimes,
what world
but
you're
that's
talking
like a
about.
fluke.
You just
I
got an
know.
internal.
I mean, I remember
Thanks.
you and I, we played one world together, I think. Well, more than a few, of course, over the years. But World 77, you were ranked beneath me, weren't you? So that's just
I don't
what
even
I
remember
remember.
77, man.
That was the world that Muldy dropped a tribe on me.
Oh!
Oh, yeah.
What tribe were you on 77, Jasper?
Powered by cheese or something.
I wasn't active in that world.
Yeah, you were, I know. I'm just
This
messing with
is
you.
the account.
But you were
I don't
Baron,
even
I
remember.
think.
Was I?
Yeah. Yeah, you were a Baron, but you were
Nice.
pretty inactive. I mean, Tom was also there. Tom was also a Baron. But anyways, that was a fucking shit show overworld for me at least.
What tribe was that on 77?
No name tribe really. POW, powered on cheese, I think it was.
I
They were in
can't
the
even
southeast.
remember.
They were like right next to Royal E.
Oh yeah. I know
It's
Royal.
past-
Krieger.
Krieger, yep. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
Rip. The Moldy thought it was a good idea to piss them off early, and then we were just in a constant state of war against them, and we couldn't focus on other things, and we couldn't get peace either. And,
Yeah, well, it's Krieger. You'd never get peace from him.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
Wait, did I co-play that world?
no, I don't think so. Well, yeah, you co-played someone. You co-played Glenn, I think, was his name. Oh, fuck. Man, you co-played someone. You co-played some random guy actually that we met. Who was in a noob tribe. I think Duke Z was the name from the tribe, and you co-played him for a while. Or maybe his name was David. Fuck, I can't remember, man. Anyways, you did co-play someone, yeah. But it was a shit show overworld, man, and it ended in a bad way as well, in my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, man. My one experience of that world was playing on the rank 1 account, and then halfway through, the co-player just kicks everyone off and leaves to the other tribe. Fun times.
Yeah, it was one of those worlds.
I'm pretty sure he left to Royale as well.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to talk about, but I kind of forgot it now. God damn it.
We were discussing the forums before in this chat,
Oh yeah,
like what do you
forums.
think of the new forum. But I feel
don't
like that'd
really
be
like
a bit too much of a bitch fest.
Yeah, probably. I don't think any of
None
us
of
are
us.
really fans of the new
Yeah.
forum as it is, but it's not like we're gonna change it either. We're gonna be able to change it either. It is
I
what
just
it is,
don't
you
think
know?
I like new people. They all suck,
Yeah,
including
we're
you.
old.
James.
Yeah. They are horrible.
Oh man,
Especially
your
this
tribe,
James
your
kid.
tribe did rip me on World 79, so
Oh, did I know you? Have I run across you? See, I don't. That's
No.
it. And if it's after World 55, I don't remember you. Sorry.
I was just a random guy. Axel the cat rimmed me because I sent defend. No, I tried to recap a tribe mate because of Balder. Should not have listened to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
were you in Serial?
Holy shit.
Were you in Serial?
Yeah,
Oh, that's when like 4 of you attacked me. I had to rim like 4 people in the top 30. Solo, Jasper.
Okay.
No, that was Sam, King Sam timed for me, and
Oh.
that was a lot of tribal defense.
Princess Daisy King Sam.
you did not need to time against me. That was like my third world. I knew nothing.
Oh no, but like 3 or 4 of the people attacked me. I was on
Axel the cat because he's the guy who rimmed me.
he was the one that fucked everything up by taking on more than he could chew. I was on a big buffet boy 85.
I think I vaguely remember the name. You know how with Tribe Wars you just kind of remember the names, you look through the Tribe Wars stats and you try and
Yeah.
find them.
Yeah, I do. I remember a lot of people vaguely. It's awful sometimes. I join a world and it's like, I need to get a contact in that tribe. How do I get in? I just look at the
Yes.
members, it's like, I remember that name vaguely, and I go to their profile, and then I go past worlds, and I'm like, I played that world, check. Oh my god, I fucking ripped this guy. That's why I know him. Let's mail him.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jasper?
do you remember me?
Jasper,
Yeah,
that's how we met.
yeah, definitely. It probably was.
So I think that playing with enemies is
It
great.
literally pretty sure was.
Yeah, I did that a lot actually. I did that a lot on 77, 83, and 91. I just look up people in other tribes, get to know them early on in the world, and then just keep a conversation flowing, you know? And later on, they could be useful. You never know.
Especially 77 and 83 were like Royal E and Nam were like basically there still.
Yeah,
It's the same tribes on a different world
yep,
decided to have some sort of rematch or something.
yeah.
It-
And it didn't
Obviously,
turn out.
Nam should have given up when they, with 77. To be honest.
Yeah, they got
World
lucky there,
83.
in my opinion.
I'm so glad we beat them, Jasper. I'm so
Oh
glad.
man, me too. It was
Hey, I
so
played
good.
with Jake in Worlds 90 NT.
Yeah.
I was-
No, Jake's a good. I reckon Jake's a good player. Like
He's a good.
he's one of the most active players out there.
He's very active.
He was
Yeah.
beating my ass when I was on Nebula. Like slowly, inch by inch, he was just slowly beating me. And he had too many inactives on his side, so we just ate them, and it looked like we were winning against him.
That's
But-
how to play, man. If you can't beat him, just play smart. If you can't beat him
Just
one-on-one,
just noble their
be
inactive.
smart.
No,
And-
if
Every
you
time,
can't blame them, tell them that your dog got run over and run away.
Oh yeah, that's also one of the good ones.
Or wait, the one guy faked his own death.
Yeah, I was
He
about
said
to
he
say that.
died.
Yeah.
He couldn't even wait like 2 worlds. He was back.
Goddamn.
Oh.
There are so many of these stories, honestly. Even recently on World 91, I've had at least 2 people in my tribe who were like, yeah, I have to quit due to blah blah or blah blah, real life reasons. And then I look at the next world and it's like,
They're back.
wait, they're playing and they're in the top 30. They're not doing too badly. What the hell
Yeah,
is going
they're-
on here?
It's that feeling when you're killing people's families.
Yeah,
It just feels really bad.
it's typical, I guess.
When you op someone so hard that their grandma dies.
It's happened. It's happened. But yeah, it is still a game that takes a lot out of you if you want to play it seriously. It takes a lot of
Oh, yeah.
lot out of you in real life.
You have to commit. Yeah.
Yep.
Every time that you give a real life excuse, everyone assumes it's bullshit.
Yeah, but
Because,
sometimes it isn't. Of
But
course.
half the time it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I remember I
Something
disappeared
to
end of World
enact
83.
I think it just
Yeah, I
happens.
disappeared.
Yeah, say it.
Yeah, I disappeared, and everyone thought that I'd just like used it as an excuse to get out. And I got a lot of shit for that. Remember, Jasper?
Yeah, I do.
You might remember.
But I mean,
Yeah.
there are, like Matt said, it's like 50-50. There are a lot of good reasons, and a lot of people actually have reasons that are valid. But it happens too much that people just make things up for a lot of people to take it seriously
It
anymore.
happens at. It's the more that it happens at particular times. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
you're being opt, and now you've decided that you have real life issues. I mean,
Well,
I
here's
can
the thing.
understand it because you can't commit that time, but you could commit on the off time.
Yeah, I was gonna say like regular TW doesn't take 24/7. Being opt takes 24/7. Maybe you were just gonna play through finals, right? You just like log in during the morning, log in at night, and but you need to study, and now you're getting opt, and it's like, okay, well, obviously this is not the priority in my fucking life. Like I
Yeah.
still have time to play. Even in that case, I can see someone like continuing one world and then like bullshitting an
Oh.
excuse in that one, and it's like kind of a lie, but kind of not a lie. Like they don't have time to be opt, but they have time for the game.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably that for a lot of people. I mean, it has
But
been for
it's
me
fun
as
to-
well in the past. It's like, for example, my work schedule is very flexible because I usually go to work when other people are on vacation. So it kind of depends on when they have their vacation. But for example, when I led on World 77, I had like 1 month coming up where I was basically free from work, or more or less, anyways. So I said, hey, I can Duke for like a month, but after that I probably have to quit. And then the month was over, and there was no way that anyone else could take over. There was just nobody there to do that. So I had to quit, and that was a valid real-life excuse. But also at the time, we ran a war, and it wasn't really like a good time for me to quit. It was a horrible time for me to quit, actually. But then again, yeah, real life, man. And basically, I told these guys, hey, this is what's gonna happen in a month. So I kind of understand.
I
It's
had that
also
happen.
one of the reasons why if someone quits and they state real life reasons, I never deal with that negatively. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just assume that they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I don't try to like if someone says they're quitting, I never try to talk them into playing.
No, exactly.
They're useful.
No, it's just not worth it generally.
You
as
just
well.
be happy that they've entered the real world finally.
Yeah. I mean, like,
until they've decided to play next world.
yeah.
Until the real world is too scary and they come back.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
bit typical. But real life, it always happens, and it always will happen. Unless InnoGames finds a
Unless you're a
way.
unless you're a pro Tribalwars player, then real life doesn't happen.
I suppose, yeah. But is
I've
there
been waiting
a way,
for the check.
Is there a way you guys think that InnoGames can alter this game? Not too much, but makes it more possible for people to play, I mean, during their lives. Having the phone app,
yeah.
the phone app, of course, is already a big improvement. People can now play on the go and shit. I mean, they can get in car crashes while playing. It's very fun. I've almost had it happen to me. where I get an incoming and it's like, what the fuck? Who is sending a text at me right now? And I get my phone out of my pocket while driving, check. It's like, huh, it's that guy. Holy shit! Fuck! Get out of the way.
Yeah, I can think of 2 things that they could do, and that it would immediately do it. Just ban co-playing and make it so if you're going to set someone as a sitter, they have to sit you for 3 days.
Oh.
But how can you actually? Well, I mean, you can obviously implement the sitting one, but how can you implement the co-playing one? There's always been the debate with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know. I can't say, but they could do it. I know they could do it I won't comment on how they could do it, but I know they could do it.
Check IP
There'll be like
addresses, but
slight
VPNs.
Second of all, okay, let's say. I mean, they
Maybe
can
email
track
verification for each
what
login.
computer you're logging in from.
Yeah.
So if you want to make it really easy, you could say, okay, you're allowed 3 devices, right? And then if one of the fucking devices is in Australia, obviously that's not you. If you're not going to be in Australia tomorrow in 5 minutes after you logged into America. And you could say, yeah, you could abuse that by having someone in America who's on like a night shift. But like, you're never going to get a system that's 100% perfect. And people will abuse any system you get. But
True.
the vast majority of players won't be able to co-play at that point.
They could.
I mean, companies do it. Like Netflix does it. You know, anyone who has any sort of streaming service, they know how to keep multiple people out of the account.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, but they don't exactly do that. They kind of do that currently because you can log in on a phone and
Well, they've changed
on
how
computers.
it works. Now you only have like 5 active people, but like other things, like Amazon Prime does it. It can't be sending shit to multiple addresses and stuff.
So it is possible then, and if you combine that with what we discussed earlier, where you could have
I
a
like co-playing.
predetermined 8 hours of sleep, then it's like you only have to be online for like 16 hours, no co-playing allowed for anyone. That would make it a whole lot more fair for everyone.
I
But
do
yeah,
kind
James
of like
likes
it.
co-playing.
Kind of like it though,
Yeah,
because
no,
at least
I-
I have 2 friends or 1 or 2 friends in the entire world.
Yeah, no, but the problem with banning co-playing is like, one, you've got one person who you can rely on to just like, if you want to be inactive for a few weeks, they just carry on.
That's
And
true.
your sleep schedule
Well,
idea,
that's what
my
the-
sleep
that's
schedule
what
is
sitting-
fucked. Give me 8 hours every day and tell me I have to be in that same 8 hours, I will not be sleeping same
Yeah,
8
same for
hours
me,
every
yeah.
day.
Well, the way
Changing
that the
shifts.
system actually works is you just have to turn it off for 8 hours at any point within a 24-hour cycle. So you don't
Couldn't you just,
necessarily have to
like-
sleep at the same time.
An op lands on you and you just be like, nope, I'm asleep, and then they will just disappear.
If you haven't used it within the last 24 hours, but like there are ways around
Oh, yeah.
that you just have to strategize. I mean, they implemented this for years in speed. This is how speed rounds were done. It's not something you can't. It is a strategy game at its base. It's not a skill game based
But
game.
speed is different because presumably you can do those ops, so to speak. Though there's always a limited amount of what you could call op there, but you could do them in like less than an hour, say, if it was high enough speed.
Which is why, as the game ends, you can just ramp up the speed. And yeah, okay, maybe your border villages can be attacked within 5 minutes, but if your border villages aren't stacked, that's a failure of strategy, and you should lose them. It is at the end of the day, a strategy game. You need to know where to put your troops and from where to put your troops.
Strategy is more important than the tactics still in Tribalwars, if you want to aim to win the world, at least.
No, activity. It's basically
activity
just,
is part of it all. I mean, if you just look at strategy and tactics, and overall strategy is still more important than
what's
tactics.
strategy do most tribes? Like at the
Strategy
best,
is
I would
more
say
like the plan
politics.
for a tribe to go on and do things. Like first we war these people and ally them, and then we go on those, and then blah blah blah. That's still more important than the actual tactics.
politics. I don't even think
Politics,
that's
yeah.
more.
I've never
Yeah,
thought it was that
politics.
important.
Politics is fun.
I mean,
Politics
it's
is my
it's
only strong
entertaining.
point.
It's entertaining, but if you have the right team together, it's like it doesn't really matter what you do, to be honest.
All you gotta
Okay.
do is you gotta gather some people who are equally skilled and formulate a plan, equally skilled as a competition, and formulate a plan that makes them come out on top of the others. That's basically all you got to do, which is why I think strategy is still more important. You can gather a group of immensely skilled players, but if they don't have any proper leadership, they suck at cooperating with all the other tribes, and they get gangbanged from the beginning because they're so aggressive, then they're gonna get fucked. You need strategy more than tactics in the end. I mean,
And they
you still
can't
need
work.
some-
They
you
can't
still
work
need some
together
tactics.
either.
Yeah, exactly. You still need some tactics, but you do need strategy more, in my opinion, at least.
But once you get into late game, right? So now we're talking the last two tribes. Which tribe wins? The answer is the more active
Regime.
tribe.
Regime.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
The answer is always
well,
going to be the
sir.
more active tribe.
Shut up. I'm in denial.
It's true. That's true, Matt. But you have to also consider how they get into that late stage game. I mean, the tribe that was big on strategy early
Yeah.
on won't
Okay.
get
So
into the late game
let's
with
just
a
separate
disadvantage.
that, right?
Okay.
Because I'll agree that early game requires both the most skill and politics. But once you get into late game, there's 2 to 3 tribes. All of the alliances are already made. And who wins? It doesn't matter if the top tribe gets gangbanged, because there's usually only 2 other tribes. So, is your tribe active? If your tribe is number 1, because that's who always gets gangbanged, and you are more active, you're going to win. If number 2 tribe is more active, that's who wins.
I
plays
don't
out
think
that way.
it's always that way though, because it can sometimes be on a bit of a micro scale on in World Wars. So let's say, yeah, my tribe is overall more active than your tribe, but in this specific area, their tribe is more active or better in some aspects than our tribe, so they can exploit that particular part of the front. And the problem is, once you get some sort of advantage, even if, theoretically your tribe should be winning overall because it's more active, that can affect on the morale.
Tribe morale. Yeah,
that
no,
is very important.
And then that in turn affects the activity. I don't think people realize how important the internal tribe dynamics are to activity in general.
Very-
Right, I don't think
I
it's.
agree with you. A lot of times you're in a strong position and people just get disheartened.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
I think the most difficult thing for a leader to do is keep your tribe active and motivated. You need to keep momentum going. You need to keep activity going, and the way to do that is just by continuing winning. As soon as you get one bad thing in your tribe, like drama or another tribe that declares on you and you're unprepared, as soon as one thing goes wrong, it's just a bunch of dominoes falling down, and everything can collapse very quickly, actually.
Yeah,
But
just
if
look at
you
World
can-
80. Like,
Yeah.
it swung both ways because of
It's-
stuff like that.
Exactly. World 80 is going both ways, is going back and forth all the time, just because of probably one player saying like, "Hey guys, I can't do this anymore. I have to quit." And another guy thinking, "Well, damn, if he quits, I can't carry this on my own either." And it's just a domino effect. And then you get a new group of players, and it just stabilizes itself again. It's just back and forth,
Oh.
back and forth. Momentum is so important in Tribal Wars.
On a random aside, I had a request to mention that Topat is into 60-year-old Polish women.
Polish women? Yes, he said that
Yes.
one to me as well.
Yeah, you said that to me
Yes.
as well.
He's
Topat,
into
very,
very,
very
old
hard.
Polish women, so if there are any grandmothers in Poland out there, hit Topat up.
Yeah, I think we're gonna slowly move towards the end of the show, but there's still some people who had questions. There was one from Samuel, incoming Impact, who wanted me to ask DA
I put
what
it
he
in
thought
the,
of TLS.
the answer in the chat.
Okay.
I won't answer it because it's on stream because it's not that interesting to everyone. But I've put it in the chat. My name is Devil Lican on here, so just read that. I've basically put 4 or 5 players that I think are decent. I should have put Sweet Misery as well on there,
Yeah, Debbie's good.
who's would be 5th or 6th.
Sweet Misery is awesome, yeah.
What
was the question?
What's the question?
Oh,
Yeah, I
just
didn't-
who is he was just asking about a specific tribe in World 16 who I thought were the best players.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, so
Wasn't there, so.
So-
Also, another thing from Marcus the Mad. He wanted in on this chat to explain to Matt why it isn't done and why it isn't such a problem to basically lock people out of logging in from different areas of the world. But let's see. I have to scroll back up. Jeez, this I should have addressed this sooner, to be honest. Where is it again? In short, yes, it is possible. Just block variable DNS or MAC addresses. But the problem is people change providers and change machines and stuff. And a lot of people play from their home PC, work PC, and or internet cafe. And you can't just block on the IP address because the vast minority is dynamic IPs.
That's not how. But wait. That's not how it works. So I don't think he understands how the backend system works. How do you? I can't say it. But how the fuck do you think they ban you when you multi-account?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I never really bothered.
Aren't you a mod?
I was a forum mod.
Say,
I was just one of those guys that's like, you're an ass, ban. It's not like I.
And even if that wasn't true, right? You could just make it so that there's only 5 devices, right? So you have 5 devices, and you can maybe only reset it every 6 months.
Well,
that sucks if you go on holiday.
Well, that's why the account sitter exists.
I suppose.
If you're on holiday, you should not be playing TW. What is wrong?
You shouldn't be, but people do.
Yeah, I mean, I have to speak for myself here. On World 91, I went to a holiday on Tenerife, and I was gone for like 6 days. And I was on every day, almost every hour, to check up on the tribe, because we had just declared a war, you know? I had to be there. I mean, I didn't actually log in that much, because I was also under attack. I was being up pretty heavily. So it was like, no, leave that for the sitters, but...
Well, you've got to be at least on Skype.
Yeah,
especially if you're a leader, you've got to be on Skype.
Okay, I know.
And then you might as well be on the game.
Yeah.
Last time I went on holidays, I think I lost 8 million points, so I'm thinking more of the persuasion that you probably should keep playing or find someone to play the account, because you get fucked up. But
that's why
at some point you just have to stop caring.
It's true.
You have the account sitter feature, and if you couple that with the sleep mode, then it's not really going to drain the account sitter, especially if it's a back-end account, right? If you have someone in the back lines, and they're not really doing much because, I mean, other than pretending that they're doing shit, because that's what they usually do, they should be able to do something back there.
I think coupling those two things would be a very big improvement to Tribalwars in general, but it's probably not going to happen, at least not anytime soon. Maybe they will implement it later on.
Oh, they'll never do it.
Maybe never,
It pays for that.
It's
them
too much
to have
work.
activity abuse, right? Because if you have activity abuse, people are going to pay more money to keep up in the beginning. And I would wager that the vast majority of money that they make is made in the first 2 months.
Oh, I definitely agree there. But yeah,
You
it's
can
all
just
about
look
the
at the
money in the
accounts.
end again.
Yeah.
Back to the money.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people spend, 50 to 100,000 premium points.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I've never bought premium points ever. I don't know why you'd bother.
Because I'm lazy, James. I'm lazy. I can't be fucked with logging into other worlds and selling resources. Fuck no, man. I'm sitting here. I have my phone. It's like, pay. Yes, there we go. I have them. I know. But I mean, there's a lot of people like me out there who are just lazy and have the money lying around because, well, their hobby is Tribalwars. They don't have to pay like 5,000 euros for fishing equipment or whatever. No, they pay it on here. And that's...
To be fair,
For fishing equipment, what are you fishing? Tuna?
Yeah, my dad and my friends are really big on fishing, and they pay about that for fishing equipment. They're a bit crazy, I guess. But hey, I mean, I went fishing on a nice boat in Norway just 2 weeks ago. It was awesome. I couldn't do that if I couldn't loan their equipment.
wow, someone has a life.
Yes, I have a life sometimes. That's why I can't duke all the time.
I made eye contact with a girl once.
Oh,
It was
shit.
intense.
Damn.
Oh,
Dude, what was it like?
Tell me, I
We're all
don't know anything
Tribalwars
about
players
that.
here.
The only girl I ever
I've
knew
heard
from
she played
Tribalwars
games.
turned out to be a guy.
Most of the girls from Tribal Wars turn out to be men.
Yeah. Right, Blue? No.
I'm not going to comment other than I say that.
You're
pretty
being
much that's true.
transphobic, Foley.
Oh,
That's
shit.
transphobic.
Sorry. Jesus. Nah, Blue's a good guy. He won't mind me saying that, I think.
I don't know who that is.
No, you're too young to know that.
Just a child.
Yeah. But yeah, anything you guys want to say before we start closing off here?
And is there any world you want to discuss in particular?
Well, we could talk a little about World 80 since it's such a
Oh.
special world.
That's what. Do you really want to get me started on World 80?
We've been going for 1 hour and 10 minutes now, so yeah, but not too long, maybe.
That's what she said.
World 80
Here we
history
go.
or World 80? I can't really discuss the current because like that affects the current world, but I can discuss like early world and how it got to where it is.
Yeah, I don't.
So
really
that would
know
be a
that
lot
much
of me
about it.
monologuing. Is there like anything in particular that you want to know about it?
Jesus, man, I don't know. How did it get to this state?
So everyone, do you remember Gents?
Yeah,
On
I
World 80,
remember Jets
they
was
were,
like
yeah, there
a
was
tribe very big.
mass.
They were massive and
Yeah.
they dominated most of the world, but they fell apart, right?
Well, they didn't exactly fall apart. It's just their leader Brad had some like personal issues that caused him to like just on the spot disband. We were actually winning in war stats by this time. We turned it around, but he just decided to disband, and then all the members went their own ways. Went to Sin, went to Destiny. I don't think Regime recruited anyone, and then Regime, Sin, and Destiny. They all had like non-aggression pacts. Destiny and Sin were allied, but Regime and Destiny had closer relations because their Regime had helped Destiny when they formed because Bill was like helping with Duke responsibilities. He told me.
Yeah.
And then Regime and Sin were going to award Destiny, I think, but also Sin and Destiny were going to award Regime, and Destiny.
Jesus. So basically, it was
everyone-
a clusterfuck.
Yeah, and then it ended up as Regime weren't willing to sign an alliance with Destiny because it was Googly in charge, and he didn't want that for some reason. And so Sin and Destiny gangbanged until they decided to merge, and a few of us left and held it at 69.4%, and then it's just been war ever since. lot of grinding.
69.4%, and the world would have ended if it reached 70,
Dude,
right?
If
That
if they had
so
have
close.
if they had have rimmed Vlad the Impaler, they would have done it. Or if they had rimmed Hodgie or Wallace, they would have gotten there. But
They got
luckily
lazy
we had
near
some.
the end.
Dude,
Has anyone ever noticed how vaguely sexual all TW terms are?
Yes, I have definitely.
Okay.
Point whore, rimming. I mean, you can go on. There's so many terms that are really not vaguely, that are just sexual.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm
much
gonna
sexual
rape this
frustration
guy
in
on
one
the rim.
game.
I mean,
I mean, he was just talking about gang banging and getting
Yeah,
impaled.
exactly.
69%. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
gotta point it out.
too many frustrated males on Tribalwars, I guess, during the early days.
During the early days,
Yeah,
I like
they
that
joined
qualifier.
the
I'm not
During
sure that's,
all points of the
Yeah.
game.
Probably. There might be a few in the chat as well if I read up.
Yeah. Do you want my D? Yeah. Not bad, sir.
Jesus. Yeah, World 80, it got really close to ending, and then it just swung back, and now it's again in a kind of stalemate. I think Destiny is winning
Yeah.
again now. Regime got over
Yeah.
50% back again, and then they started pushing again, right? The other guys.
Yeah, and like we had
Jesus.
I can't really say anything about like current affairs on it, but I don't know. I'm not in the tribe
you
anymore,
shouldn't
so I
comment
don't
on the
really know.
current affairs. Definitely not. It's
Yeah.
too close of a world, man. Everyone on
I-
Tribalwars
I-
is now watching it because it's weird. The world hasn't gone on for this long in quite some time,
Yeah, I was
and it's
looking
still
today.
not ending.
The next like 15 worlds have all pretty much been mopped up at this point. Like no, maybe 17 worlds because I think it's up to world 87 has been decided.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that just ended.
I think
a
wait, no,
month
88.
ago.
They've pretty much they've won. So it's
back in
89
the
on
day,
it. So
this
it's
would just be the
18
start of late game though. How many years has it been?
world 80. It's been like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, this would have been like the beginning of late game back in the day.
Yeah, but now the accounts are I think.
But
What's
how
the
much,
largest account there?
Like 35 million.
See, that's definitely late game.
So
See, Matt,
how much?
opponents defeated did they have back in previous worlds? Because I know like
Definitely
on
late.
World
Like
80, we're
on the
getting
way that's
like
calculated.
2 billion.
Unlike on
We're
World
getting-
60, for example, the top player had over 1 billion, I believe. ODA.
I have 2 billion opponents defeated defender. So I think
Ah.
like although it's not as big, it's just as
Well,
as
they
active.
changed the calculation, guys. I don't remember what world they changed the calculation, but it used to be just by pop room,
Yeah.
and now it
Oh,
has to do.
it's now it's
Yeah.
something weird. I don't know what it is.
It's
Yeah, and it made it go up.
each troop is worth a different value, I believe. Now for ODA and ODD, so obviously you're gonna get a lot.
It's not apples to apples. I think it was before World 60, but World 60 isn't what I would consider. I mean, the height of TW in terms.
It was declining by then. I mean, for sure there was more than 50 continents, but whereas now there's.
But more than back in the day, I remember they had to start closing worlds off because it went
the 400,
and then started going back to the center.
That was beautiful. I remember that on World 2. Like, the rim was filled, and then all of a sudden you got new players starting in the core continent because there was no more room for them. So you had like people with 10 million points, and then all of a sudden this guy spawns next to you, 21 points. What the fuck? It's just amazing. But yeah. It's gone through a lot of changes over the years, Tribalwars. But World 80 is still somewhat of a remnant of the past, just because it's been going on for so long. It's pretty interesting to keep an eye on it. But it looks like it could go for another year at this point.
It definitely could. The leaders of both sides are very dedicated. I have a lot of respect for both sides.
It's stubborn as well, and very, how do I say it? What do you call one of those Jehovah's Witnesses that comes knocking on your door like every month?
Yeah, they do ask quite a lot.
Yeah,
annoying. Annoying. They ask quite a lot. It's like, do you want to join this world as a co-player? It's like,
no.
It's that chances are it's World 80 they're asking you to join.
Yep.
No, I
think that's been me. I think that's been me about 10 times to you.
Well,
I've gone through to everyone and been like, come on, join us, guys.
But yeah, I think we're going to end it here, guys. Thank you for joining me on this first edition of what might be a weekly or a bi-weekly or a monthly or whenever league show.
You can.
Yeah, when I can, because, well, my work schedule is very flexible, so I don't know when I can do these. But it was very fun doing this, anyways. We got, like... At the peak, 39 viewers, I think. So that's pretty cool.
I think I saw 41 at this point.
Whoa! See, there you go. And it's gonna be uploaded on YouTube, so more people will be able to watch it afterwards. Thank you for joining me, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye, man.
Bye.